Good morning, my people. Monday morning, and we're back to work. I can't do this 3-day weekend shit, right? Go a little bit crazy. I can't do it. So we're back to it, guys. I'm excited. Here's what I want to talk to y'all about this morning. We take a look at the futures, and been pretty sloppy, right? We spike initially last night, and then we roll over, and then we consolidate, and now we're making a move back towards the highs. Plain and simple, guys. Few key levels I'm focusing on today. For the ES to the upside, we have got resistance up here right around 2820. If I really want to see strength in the market, we got to be breaking through 2820. That could really kick a nice move towards the upside. Any kind of strength or pop, so to say, under 2820, and let me get that little guy where he belongs. All right, guys, but any these pops underneath that level, it kind of is what it is, right? For the market to advance and move forward, we got to break through this resistance right here. So to the upside, that's my key level. To the downside, all I'm really looking at, guys, is this 2700 level, right? A little bit of support here on the hourly chart. Not a major level, but it is, that big whole number. So pretty much I'm looking at the market today, right? For today's session, with a focus on this range right here. 2700 support to the downside. 2810, 2820 resistance to the upside. Question is, can we make a move out of this range? Whether it be to the downside, whether it be to the upside, or do we get a big old chop fest inside of this range today? Now keep in mind, guys, this is one of the characteristics of this market. We do find ourselves oftentimes chopping back and forth inside of a range, but it's a big one. Right? We're looking at resistance at 2820 and support a good 100 plus points lower down at 2700. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that earnings do kick off this week, mostly with the financials like JPM and a few others. However, guys, market making a little pop here, so we'll see how the session goes. Currently down about 0.5% into the open. And I'm not going to go through a bunch of setups this morning, but last night here in the group chat, I put up the scan results for the squeeze. So the squeeze is something, guys, that not only are we going to be focusing on more in the main group here at Focus Trades, as it's my personal favorite setup, one I've admittedly steered away from for no real good reason, but this is also something we're doing with the TDG group, our more hands-on focus group. We're making them all pick one setup for the month of April and focus wholeheartedly on that setup every day. And I gave them a whole list of tasks to do every single day, as far as putting together watch lists, learning how to scan, learning how to read the tape, trading historical examples of that one setup on a simulator. The power of focus is a huge aid, guys, in our mission to make progress as a trader. The problem is that pretty easy to get distracted. So we are focusing a lot here on the squeeze itself. And here's some scan results from last night. You got your daily, 4-hour, hourly, so on and so on. And I'm not going to walk through all of them, guys. If you want, you can pause this, screenshot it. If you're in the group, we'll talk about these in the live stream today. My favorite is going to be Microsoft heading into this session. Now, you can see, guys, anything in pink font means that it's squeezing on multiple time frames. Google, for example, has got a squeeze on the daily, the hourly, the 30-minute chart as well. Microsoft has got a squeeze on the 4-hour, the hourly, the 30, and the 15. Now, mind you, this was as of last night. Things have moved a bit here pre-market, but let's go take a look at Microsoft here, guys. Take a look at this. We'll talk a little bit about the squeeze itself. So, with Microsoft, we've actually got a squeeze here on the 4-hour charts, which is just starting to form. Guys, if you don't understand the squeeze, go watch the video I uploaded, I think it was yesterday, maybe a few days ago, talking about the TTM squeeze indicator and exactly how to use it and exactly how I personally trade this shit. So we got a squeeze starting on the 4-hour. We have got a very good looking squeeze here on the hourly chart. Now look what happened last time Microsoft was in an hourly squeeze. You get that gap up and then a nice run. Gap and go. All right, 30-minute chart. We had a squeeze, right, coming into this morning. That's getting a little bit tossed around on the 30. And right, same thing with the 15. We did have a squeeze on the 15, which actually did fire to the downside in the early hours of this morning. So really what we're looking at, guys, is this 4-hour as well as this hourly squeeze. Now, all right, we want to get a feel for the bigger picture of this thing. So we take a look at the daily chart, And we're just trying to get a sense of, what is the short-term momentum? Really weak, really strong? Has it been flat? And as a general statement, guys, nice move off the bottom, obviously along with the overall market. But Microsoft has been a strong name, right? It's held up very well on days where we've sold off, and it's gotten a lot of attention, particularly in the call flow last week. So overall momentum, at least at the time being, is pointing towards the upside. You got your 15 MA right here pointing to the upside as well. And then we got some key resistance right here, right under 170. So on the daily chart, guys, right, there is a bit of momentum to the upside. It's pretty much following the market. So you could see some strength here if the market continues higher. Remember the levels I gave you for the ES early in this video. You want to see the market making a move towards that level of resistance and ideally breaking through that resistance. That's going to pull everything along with Microsoft with it. So we closed Thursday at 165, guys. One thing I like to do before trading the squeeze is get a realistic sense of how far could this thing run. What we do in the group is we focus on ATR, average true range indicator right here. And Microsoft's current ATR is $8.50. So we'll round up and call it 10, right? Just for the sake of conversation here. What that ATR is telling us, guys, average true range is how much of this given stock has been moving on average up or down over the past 14 days. Over the past 14 days, what's Microsoft been doing? Going up or down 8.5 points. Right, for the video, we're going to call it 10. So, with a close on 165 there on Thursday, a move towards 175 would be about average, guys. What I like to do is go a little bit under that average move. So, I'm looking at this level of resistance right here, right? That's about $5 or so compared to Friday's close. That would kind of be my first target there, guys. That is also that resistance level from the daily chart we took a gander at. So we're going to put some resistance right up here. That would be kind of my first realistic target. And honestly, if you got to move up towards that level, you wouldn't mind, wouldn't be a bad idea, guys, to sell into strength if it actually does rip through that level. So that's, 170 plus, I think is realistic for Microsoft. It's less than its average move as of late, but it is, guys, going to require a strong market, as y'all know. So how do you go about trading this thing? And again, this is not trade advice. This is what I'm going to do, not what you should do. 3 ways going about it, guys, right? Easiest way, most simplest way is sell some puts, sell a put credit spread underneath the squeeze. You think the squeeze is going to fire to the upside, you should be pretty confident it ain't coming down here. So we look at Microsoft on the chain. And the question is, do the chain hang low? So let's see. Yeah, Microsoft is usually pretty thin with the premiums. Let's see these 157s, 155s. I fucked that up. Let's try that again. All right. 47 cents of credit. That gives us a pretty solid risk reward. Risk 2,000 to make about, let's call it 500, right? That's about a 25% return on risk. 157 and a halves, right? So that's one way of going about it, guys. You can sell a put credit spread, shorten the puts down here at 157 and a half. Beautiful thing is, even if this thing doesn't necessarily break out and fire, you're collecting that put premium as those things are going to zero. They're trash. The benefit, aside from that, is that you don't got to necessarily sit here and try to time that breakout. Clearly, guys, as you can see from the rejections, breakout trades can be tough. A lot of manipulation, a lot of bullshit. So there's your case for selling a put spread, right? That give an example, a good 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio. That's rock solid. You're selling puts all the way down here. If you're confident enough to think about buying calls, you should have way more confidence to sell some puts a good $8 below the current price. Am I right? All right, so that's one way of going about it, guys. You could also look to buy calls on the breakout, right? Wait for that breakout of, call it 167, 168. Look to jump into calls. If the move works, you're going to make a good return. The difficulty is, guys, 2 things. One, these breakout trades often fail. They're very crowded. You get a lot of manipulation, a lot of messiness. Also, understand that when the move is taking place and you're trying to get into a position once the breakout has started, those options have already gained value, man, right? IV is spiking, premiums are getting pumped up. You are in a lot of ways jumping into an inflated little asset there. That is going to lose all that value that you just paid up for if it fades back. So those are, some of the difficulties of the breakout, guys. What you could also do is buy your calls inside the squeeze. right? Maybe you set a stop down here or something. You buy those calls, whatever it be, right? Some in the money, at the money, weeklies next week, doesn't matter. You get those calls inside the squeeze. Premiums are cheap. Implied volatility is low. No one's really looking to buy the things. If that move then takes place and you bought them in here, you're getting a killer return because your calls are gaining value, not just from simple premiums going up, but you get that spike in IV that sends your option to the moon. And then the awesome thing is, guys, once that breakout happens, everybody's showing up looking for that piece. You already got it. You can easily sell into strength. So keep in mind, no matter what happens, the market is going to be the deciding factor whether these squeezes like Microsoft and everything else you saw on that list there are going to fire to the upside, to the downside, or at all today. So best of luck this week, guys. Be focused and get a little bit better. Don't worry about your profit loss. Focus on getting better this week. If you're not already, guys, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And you can check us out at focustrades.com. $10 a month for the private group, and we'll work the shit out of you. Best of luck this week, guys.